data factory for existing customers. They have given a capability saying that if you are in Azure Synapse, or if you want to go and use Azure Synapse via Azure Data Factory, also you can use here. You can see Synapse workloads you can run for existing customers. So for existing customers, for new customers, if they are building their pipelines, readily they'll go and build pipelines in Synapse Workspace. Directly they'll get started into the Synapse Workspace. So for the existing customers in real time, if they already have pipelines in Azure Data Factory, they are giving an add-on that you can go and use Azure Data Factory and move your pipeline into, or you can extend your pipeline into Synapse based notebooks you can run, queries you can run. It's an extension. Or net new customers, you can get started directly building the pipelines from the day you start to utilize Synapse. Hope that answers your question, Ram.
Yes, thanks, Kumar. And one more question. Like the scope of Databricks. So if we want to use any machine learning models, algorithms, then only we go for Databricks. Or usually I heard like Databricks is a logical division of data warehouses. So even without, even we don't have any machine learning models to run, still we can use Databricks.
Perfect answer. You have the question and you have the answer. See, Databricks, if you open up the Databricks itself, see, they have given capabilities separately: SQL, data engineering, machine learning. Now, they are not compulsory that you are required to use all them together. See, when you go ahead and hit workspace, it's not that you have to compulsion. There is no compulsion that you should use for machine learning. You can use it for your SQL data warehousing. You can use it for your data engineering. That's all. If you have machine learning capabilities, if there is a model design that you want to build, then you can look into machine learning capabilities. Otherwise, it's a separate service into the Databricks. It's not a separate, it's a isolated services. These are isolated. They are not compulsory that they should have. The good thing is, if there is a project where you are focusing on machine learning, SQL operations, data warehousing, unstructured data set handling, data storage, then you can consider machine learning as well. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Right. Lokesh, do you have any questions? Prasad, you guys can ask me any question, even if it is a very basic question, not even relevant sometimes to the subject. If I can answer that, I'll make an attempt to answer it. You may ask me any question, any basic question you can ask me. Don't feel about being asked by Kumar. If Kumar is asked a question that nobody is here to judge anyone. We're all on the same path. We have started our careers. We are moving into the advanced services as the cloud came into picture. It has changed the whole landscape of data warehousing solutions, data lakehouse solutions, lakehouse platforms. So industry is moving fast into cloud. So if you are starting to move into the cloud, you're on the right track. Only thing is you need a little bit of guidance. So I'm here to give you the guidance, participants. So ask me any question, even if it is not completely relevant to subject, but something that I can answer, I'll give an attempt to answer the same. Yeah, Lokesh, Prasad, Vivek, Ram, nice, you can ask me any question.
What are the Yeah, I think we have already.
Yeah, Prasad, you can start, then Lokesh will pick.
Yeah. So, like, if I completed this training program, so where should I can get an expertise? All these areas like data factory, Databricks, and Synapse Analytics, all these three areas, or else any specific goals are there?
See, the first goal is to get yourself branded as a Azure data engineer. Not Kumar is recognizing, nor Edissy is recognizing. It is Azure will recognize that you as a data engineer. Clear? The first goal is to get yourself branded as that Prasad is a certified data engineer, not by Kumar, not by Edissy, but it is purely by Azure. So Azure will certify. So that what would happen, any company that looks into your profile, getting yourself as a certified engineer, they will consider it because you have already undergone the learning path. Now, after this learning path, what are the advantages that you get to see? What is that advantages? You know, you will learn a cloud-based ETL operations involving data factory. That means you have a very good skill in handling data factory. Data factory is a good option to go ahead and do ETL operations. But companies who are already out of data factory, they have started to utilize now the current generation, something called data lakehouse platform. There is a new term that came into picture called data lakehouse platform. You remember this word, try memorizing this word. And this word was firstly introduced by Databricks. The Databricks was the first company to bring this, or it was the first company to bring this vocabulary. Now, what they have done is they had made it popular. So now what will happen from the skill of ETL involving data factory, you are moving into data lakehouse platform. Either you can use Azure Databricks for this, or you can use Synapse to it. So you will get skills moving from ETL operations into highly advanced skill set handling data lakehouse platforms like Azure Synapse and Azure Databricks. So my suggestion is either of them are good for you to brand for a project, but I would suggest you try to go ahead and, you know, when you are attending an interview, when you're trying to demonstrate your skill set, try to project more on Azure Databricks because Azure Databricks is the need of the hour. So a lot of companies would expect you to go ahead and demonstrate your capabilities around Azure Databricks. So my suggestion is try to go ahead and choose either Synapse or Azure Databricks as one. Consider choosing Azure Databricks and try to go ahead and do more expertise. Try to go ahead and go to an advanced level. From basics we'll start, we'll go to advanced level, but more in terms of your approach should be whenever you go for an interview or wherever you face, wherever you have to showcase your capabilities, try to show more as Azure Databricks engineer. That is my suggestion for you. Prasad, good?
Yeah, good. Like one continuation question, like I mean, if I would have completed this training program, so how many years I can keep on ADB?
So see, nowadays I see that like it's something that it's always a personal choice. But what I would suggest is you can go ahead and place roughly around about 4 to 5 years of experience. But the problem is, how will you justify what you have been doing in those 5 years? Because once again, it becomes a monotonous job of you building a pipelines, everything. Rather, you go ahead and project yourself as you know, you were into Azure services or Azure data engineer. Now you are an Azure Databricks engineer. So if I have to go ahead and let's say if I was in your position, I would have done something like this. From the 5 years of experience, I would have mentioned that 2 to 3 years I've been working in Azure data engineering segment, and I have now moved into data lakehouse platform involving Azure Databricks. It's for the last 2 to 3 years, I'm completely handling Databricks platform on Azure Cloud Platform. So that's where I'm justifying myself because a lot of companies have recently adapted to Databricks. It's been 3 years, I guess, 3 to 4 years that they are very popular. So instead of projecting 4 to 5 years totally as an Azure Databricks engineer, try to go ahead and justify at least 2 to 3 years for your what do you call it as an Azure data engineer, and now you are moving into data lakehouse platform using Azure Databricks for another 2 to 3 years. So that's way something that you can justify your skill. Prasad, that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks, Kumar.
Welcome. Vivek, any questions? Vivek, even if you have a very basic question, you may ask it. Lokesh, you were asking. Yeah, please, Lokesh.
Actually, after finishing this course, because I am into the admin, uh, is there anything apart from this? I mean, everything covered in this course, right?
Right. So for
Or
you
any?
as an administrator, if you, I remember you were mentioning that you came from an Hadoop background. So definitely Azure Databricks administration will be very, very vital for you. So what kind of
Okay.
jobs that we get to see in my project is we as, you know, Databricks engine is we go ahead and do a lot of handling of resources, pipeline